So I've given you a little bit of an idea of the very basics of what we're trying to accomplish with the DOCSTREAM project here at the Duke University School of Medicine in the Department of Anesthesia. Now why don't we talk a little bit more about the details of the equipment that it takes to put this project together. What I'm standing next to here that you see is not a particularly expensive piece of equipment, but a very sophisticated one nonetheless. It's a medical broadcasting and live streaming video cart assembled essentially from mostly prosumer level products that you can get at a local Best Buy, with a couple of key features that make it be able to do what it is that it does. So we'll go through some of those individually. The real foundation of this cart lies in the technology which comes with the Tricaster XD300. The XD300 is a high definition video switcher that does a whole heck of a lot more than a typical switcher does. The reason it's called a Tricaster is that it simultaneously does live switches from multiple input sources, up to 3 high definition video sources, PowerPoint laptop screens which can be brought in wirelessly via a Wi-Fi network, and multiple audio sources as well, both balanced high quality microphone inputs as well as line output, or even something so simple as the microphone output or the speaker output of your laptop computer, if you wanted to bring in iTunes, for example. So it synthesizes all of those inputs, 3 high definition video inputs, up to 3 computer inputs, and multiple audio inputs, all together into one central package. The Tri in the Tricaster stands for live output to a local monitor. So you can see the video output into a VGA monitor or a DVI monitor, both locally as well as up onto a projector screen. The second of the Tris in the Tricaster is a local recording. It'll record not completely uncompressed, but a large file size, high definition video in MPEG-2 format, which is ubiquitously usable on a Mac and a PC for post edits, or can be directly uploaded to any video site, whether it be a simple one like YouTube or a more robust application like we're building on the DOCSTREAM.com website. The third, and probably the coolest, and thing that drew me to this piece of equipment to begin with, element, the third Tri of the Tricaster, is the live streaming component. And the live streaming is incredible. What is now able to happen in recent months to years as a result of both improved CPU in computers like the Core i7 8-core processor that this thing has at 64 bits, but also the bandwidth. In addition to CPU improvements, the bandwidth, especially at an institution like Duke, which has enormous amounts of bandwidth, the bandwidth has actually gone through the roof, and soon with fiber optic networks, the bandwidth will not even be an issue at all. But at a place like Duke, with the bandwidth that we have here, we're able to stream in true high definition video quality to an unlimited audience, which is harnessing the Akamai network's worldwide reach of live streaming capabilities. So all at once we can record locally, we can output to our local projector, either here or in the conference room upstairs, and we can live stream to the web, all with this one central piece of hardware. Now there's a couple of other elements that we use as a part of this Tricaster DOCSTREAM cart. We have a couple of microphones. As you can see, I'm talking into a wired XLR microphone that plugs directly into the Tricaster. You can also input multiple other microphones. We have a wireless microphone kit that we can have a surgeon or an anesthesiologist wear during procedure broadcasts. And you can also bring in, as I mentioned earlier, the speaker output of your computer. If you wanted to mix in and get real technical and real sophisticated, you can mix in a little iTunes output, mix in some music with your broadcast as well. Anything's really possible as far as audio and video with this thing. So in order to keep myself from having to assemble and disassemble everything all at once every day, I've assembled it all onto an old used medical cart. This was originally an endoscopy cart from Karl Storz, and it's been converted into our broadcast cart by simply swapping a couple of the items that were previously housed on the shelves of this thing. It has a built-in monitor, and we can do our local outputs of what our audience is seeing on that monitor, and we can also bring in a Skype video caller as a full-screen video caller that can comment and interact with us while we're doing a lecture or a broadcast of a procedure, and really truly make a virtual preceptorship environment with this thing. As far as other things that we can bring in, I mentioned earlier, not only can we switch between the video inputs, but we can actually bring in a PowerPoint wirelessly via the Wi-Fi network. And what that allows us to do is go through procedures, go through lectures, switching from camera source to camera source, and switching in the full screen output of our PowerPoint presentation to make certain points about various steps of the procedure, for example. A good use case scenario there would be we're going through an interscaling nerve block, and we come to the part where you identify this transition of the cluster of grapes appearance of the brachial plexus at the supraclavicular level, and as you scan up the neck, showing the demonstration of the brachial plexus changing shape and becoming more of a stoplight sign. Well, that makes for an excellent PowerPoint slide, and it's a very nice visual explanation of what it is that you're looking for. We all have our PowerPoint slides that show this transition from cluster of grapes to stoplight sign, and it's nice to be able to mix that in as you're teaching and as you're explaining a procedure to both the physician residents who are there learning at the moment on site, but also to anybody watching. It's nice to be able to mix in a PowerPoint slide that has that kind of visual effect in real time while you're demonstrating this procedure. So that's a really useful feature to be able to bring in a PowerPoint slide, and it's as easy as flipping open your laptop, setting up your PowerPoint, and turning on a virtual streamer from your laptop to the Tricaster. So very, very cool feature. So the last and the third of the video inputs in high definition that we bring in typically in my division, the regional anesthesia division, is a full screen ultrasound input. So I have assembled all of the necessary video conversion and capture equipment to bring in the output, the video output of all of the different ultrasounds that we have at Duke, and we pride ourselves on having a whole array of ultrasounds upon which to use and to teach, so that when residents graduate from our residency program, they go out into the world familiar and comfortable with all of the different high-end and middle-end ultrasound models that exist, so that whatever practice they join, they can hit the ground running with their skills in ultrasound. So that's our third video input, is ultrasound. So typically when we put together a broadcast, we'll have a high-definition video camera, we'll have a second close-up camera that's an in-light camera that gives us the close-up hand shot, and our third input is our ultrasound video. And when you add in a couple of microphones and you add in a PowerPoint presentation, it really makes for an excellent presentation, an excellent opportunity to teach not only the people in the room, but the people all over the world that are watching on the web. So that is our equipment rundown for our DOCSTREAM cart here at Duke Medical Center in the Department of Anesthesia.